Hi friends, welcome to my journal. In this video, I will walk you through all of the book journal spreads that I've done so far in the year in my reading journal. And I also wanted to show you my progress in my annual spreads and where that's going. I've read so far 24 books, so you're going to be seeing 24 book spreads in this journal. So let's dive in. This is my cover page. And this is my index page. This is my other cover page. I have two cover pages. And this is my first bookshelf. As you can see, it's now filled out a little bit more. These are my additional shelves in case I ran out of space on the first one, which I think I will probably run out of space. So it's nice that I planned ahead. This is my 23 books in 2023. I actually only read three of them. So I still have a long way to go. This is my bingo. I think I'm doing good progress on it. There's still a lot more that I need to fill out, but I mean, technically I did hit bingo up here, but I like filling everything out, so we'll see how that's gonna go. And this is my Goodreads challenge. My goal was 52, but I'm at 24 right now, so I think I'm gonna be reading more than 52. This is my book bracket, and like I mentioned in my previous video, I wanted to shuffle up the months a little bit. So that's why you see January up here, February up here, and then one of the M's is going to be March. I haven't picked which one yet. So for January, my favorite book was To Paradise, and then for February, it was Circe. For March, it's going to be Kai K. So I just haven't written it down yet, but I will do that. This is my A to Z challenge, and I decided to keep track of both the book name and also the author name. That's why you see like a little split in between. So the top is the book name, and the bottom is going to be the author name. I feel like I've hit a few letters that I've gotten both of them, but that's still a lot to go to fill this all out. Next is my physical TBR spread, and the TBR is growing by a lot, I'll be honest, but I'm making good progress in terms of reading my backlog, so I really hope I can get most of them done. Next one is my series tracker, so that's a lot of series that I've started, I just haven't finished yet. This is my book purchases. I went a little bit crazy in January, but I'm trying to be better about book buying. So let's see. Next is my book boxes, predictions, and also rating once I do finish reading them. And I don't think I've read anything so far from the book boxes, I'll be honest. But yeah, this is, if I have like a checkbox next to it, or a check mark, I should say, it means that I bought that book. And if it's nothing there, that means that I just didn't order it. I skipped that month. This is my special edition calendar. It's been great with keeping track of when the drops are. Next is my Instagram and YouTube tracker. So if you're not following me on this platform, please do so. I really appreciate your engagement. And yeah, thank you for your support. This is the Book Rainbow Challenge. And I'm doing pretty well so far. I mean, I'm only missing 4 colors. So I think I should be able to get that done. And I love how the spread is coming out. I really like it. Next is my book Tetris. I kind of stopped doing this, honestly. And the reason for that is that I kind of miscounted the number of dots. And so they're just not fully fitting, and that's kind of driving me crazy. And I'm hoping next time I make it, I'm better at predicting the number of dots. So far, like, that's the only reason why I cannot look at it anymore. Next is the first line of the book. And honestly, I kind of stopped keeping track of this one too. I don't know why, it's not working for me. I feel like I need to figure out a better way to do it. But yeah, the space is also reserved for the first line of the book. Next is my book awards. So this is going to be empty until the end of the year. Next is the Buzzword Readathon. And the way that it works is that for each month you have a secret, or not a secret, but you have a word, and you need to read a book that has something related to that word in the title. I refuse to do it like by month, because that kind of puts too much pressure on me. So the way that I do it is that if at any point I read a book that falls under that verb or word, then I will consider it as a read. And so far I feel like I've done pretty well. I'm only missing flavor, other, weather, good, and sound. And I think I should be able to get those done in the next few months. So fingers crossed. Next is my new vocab page, and I'm not using this as much as I thought I would, honestly, since I don't look up words as much as I should. I think I need to be better at it, but the one times I did use it, that was fun. Next is my 12 books by 12 friends spread, and these were all recommendations that I got from my Instagram followers, so thank you so much. And so far I've read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the books, so I think I'm doing pretty well, pretty good progress on that. And I really liked most of the suggestions that you guys have recommended to me, so keep them coming. So the first month was January, and this is my January cover page. I've decided to get rid of the monthly stats, and I don't know if I liked it or not, honestly, just yet. But I thought that I was going to run out of pages in this journal, and so that's why I figured I would skip the monthly stats, and instead I'm just going to do an annual stat in the end. I will try to link most of the supplies that I've used in the spreads in the box below, so feel free to check those out. And if I have any discount codes for any of the things, then I will make sure to link those as well, so you can save some money if you purchase any of these things. So for January, I read, was it 10 books? But yeah, so I decided to just like write the name of the book and a quick star rating, just so I could like quickly look through them. So the first book that I read was The Ballad of Never After. So this is the second book in the trilogy. Once Upon a Broken Heart I really liked that book, but I felt like this book was even better. And so I'm just like very excited to see where the third book of the trilogy will go. Next one was Kingdom of the Feared. And honestly, I was a little bit disappointed with this book. I absolutely loved the first two, and so I had very high expectations about the ending. It wasn't on par with the other books. I'm hoping the other books that she writes regarding this world will be better, so fingers crossed. Next one was To Paradise, and I absolutely, like, this book destroyed me. It was so good. I know there's a lot of like mixed reviews on it, but I personally found it like very eye-opening, and it was very good, especially with like COVID just like recently happening. It felt way too real. I don't know how to describe it. It was very good. I really liked it. I can't stop talking about it. Next one is Book Lovers, and I'm not a huge romance reader, I'd say. I get like the book was fine. It's just because I don't really like romance in general, I didn't think it was like the greatest thing ever. So that's the only reason. Next one is Legends and Latte, and this was such a cute little book. What's not to love about like an orc wanting to open a bakery? But yeah, it was very cute. And I'm excited to read the other book that is being set up in this world. Next one is The X-Hex. And again, like, this was it just wasn't my thing. I was expecting it to be more witchy, but it just wasn't that. So not a fan. Next one was The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, and this one I loved. This one was such a cute book. I highly recommend that one. Next one is The Heart of the Sun Warrior, and this is also the second book in, I think it's a duology, but I know the author is coming up with another book, I think. I really like this one. I really love the world building of this duology in general, so I highly recommend it. Next one is Belladonna, and this was also a very, very good book. It's like a fantasy, but it's like combined with like mystery and paranormal and gothic elements, and it was very good. Can't wait for the next one. Next one is I'm Glad My Mom Died. I listened to the audiobook of this one, and it was just so well done. It was narrated by the author herself. And I mean, I grew up watching iCarly, you know, so I had no idea what was going on behind the scenes. And this just was very eye-opening in terms of like what happens to all the child actors. And it was very good. So that is my wrap up in terms of January. For February, I read 8 books. And again, like I followed a similar layout to January where I just wrote the name of the book and the star rating, and that's it. So the first one was In My Dreams, I Hold a Knife. It was like the mystery definitely kept me going, like what happened, but it wasn't like a 5-star read for me. The next one is Carrie Soto is Back, and I really love this one, and I've read a bunch of Taylor Jenkins Reid like books, and I really, really like them, and so this was also like super good. Well, speaking of that, like the next book I read was Malibu Rising, and that one was a disappointment. I wasn't a fan of the way of like the writing. It's like nothing happened. It's like I wasted all my time, and like nothing happened on the entire book, and it was just like it was very stupid and annoying. So I gave it 3 stars. Next one is A Diary of Blood, and this is written so beautifully, and it's basically just a retelling of Dracula from one of his wives, and the language of it is gorgeous, but I just felt like sometimes it was a little bit too slow, and so that's why I didn't really give it a 5-star, but the writing was great. Next one was Circe, and I had read Circe like a few years ago, but honestly I felt like I didn't remember anything, so I needed to reread it again, and I'm glad I did because it was very good. I absolutely love any mythology retellings, and so Circe is definitely like one of the best up there. I highly recommend it. And then the next one that I read was Galatea, from the same author. And this is like just a short story, but it was also like very interesting to read from the perspective of Galatea. So yeah, that was very well done. Next is Pachinko, and this was a body read with one of my followers on Instagram, and I love this book. I had watched the Apple TV show a few months ago, but I felt like the book was so much better because it just gives you more understanding into the culture and the history and all of that kind of stuff that the TV show was kind of lacking, and so I'm really glad I read the book. And so the last book that I read for February was The Last Tale for Flower Bride. And again, like the writing on this one was gorgeous. Like the way that the author just plays with the words is just mind-blowing. And I really enjoyed like reading that kind of language. But the story itself, I just wasn't a huge fan of. And so that's why I gave it 4 stars. I have a blank page here. I don't know why, because I just wanted the March cover page to be 2 pages. But yeah, so that ends the reads for February. Next is March. And again, like very similar, it's very simple. Just wrote the name of the books. So for this month, I only read 6 books. The first one was The Darkening. This was also supposed to be a body read with one of my Instagram followers, but I personally wasn't a huge fan. I feel like I'm just not into YA anymore. It's just like it's too repetitive, like everything, and so maybe that's what contributed to me not enjoying it as much. The next one was Daisy Jones and the Six, and I absolutely loved the audiobook narration, and so I cannot wait to jump into the TV show. The audiobook was very well done, so I highly recommend that. Next is Kai K, And I really love this book. I personally wasn't very familiar with Indian mythology before, and so I didn't know what to expect going into it, but now I want to know more. So if you have any recommendations about Indian mythology retellings, just put them down below. I would love to check them out. The next book that I read was The Book Thief, and I feel like this is like a classic, but I just hadn't read it before, and so yeah, like I sobbed like a little baby once I finished this book. It was very good. I definitely recommend it. And then the last one is Spin the Dawn. Well, not the last one, the second to last one. And I listened to the audiobook of this one. It was advertised as Mulan meets Project Runway, and I was like, oh, hell yes, sign me up. But I just didn't get any of that, honestly. I don't know. Again, like maybe it was too YA for my taste. I'm not sure. I just didn't really enjoy it as much. So I gave it 3.5 stars. And the last book is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. And I don't know how I feel about this book. Like, I struggle to give it a rating. And I guess the reason why is because I love a lot of the aspects of it, but like the stories and like anything about fairies and the folks and like legends, like all of that kind of stuff. I love that kind of stuff. But then like the book itself was just, the plot just felt very flat for me. It's also advertised as like a romance book, but I really got zero romance out of it. I don't know. Wasn't a huge fan. I felt like the plot was a bit all over the place. So yeah. But I mean, I really like the legends part. So if you have any cool recommendations of books like that, let me know. And that is the last book that I read so far in March. So those were all of my spreads. Let me know how your year is going so far. Have you been keeping track of your reading journal? How many books have you read so far? What was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you.